Our code has worked great so far, but what if we add multiple vacations? If we then click the Get Price button, we can see that all of the buttons disappear and we see all of the prices. Well, that's not so good. So how might we fix this? Here's our DOM, this time with multiple vacations, and here's our code. When we go to append the price, it's going to find all of the LIs with the class vacation and append the price, the same price, to all of them. It's also going to return all of the buttons when it searches for a button and then call .remove, effectively removing all of them. One way around this problem is by using a keyword called this. You see, inside of our event handler, when we use this, we're referring to the item that triggered the event, in this case, the button that was pressed. So inside our event handler, you might think we could call this.remove to remove the button, but that wouldn't quite work because when we call this, it's not a jQuery object. We need to convert it first. So we'll wrap that in a $ in parentheses and call this.remove, and that's going to remove only the button that was clicked. So let's write that code in our function, and now we're only removing the button that was clicked. So if we go back to our code and click Get Price, we can see that each button is removed when it should be. However, it's still adding the price on every list item. So how might we fix that? We can use this again and call this after price to put the price after this current button. So let's go ahead and move that into our code, and now it's going to add the price as a sibling after the button. Notice here in the DOM we've moved the button into a div. So the DOM has changed slightly, and now when we run this code, well, the price is going to be inside of that div, which we may not want. So how would we write this code so that if the DOM gets changed like this, it's still going to print out the price where it should be? So we want to keep the price as a child of the LI, so we can't use after price. Well, one way we could solve this using traversing, we could call parent.parent.append, which would seem to put it in the right place, but again, it would break if we changed the DOM. We could also find parents to find the vacation class above the current button, and then append price onto it. But this doesn't work because it could return multiple vacations. The best way to solve this problem is to use .closest and then send in .vacation. What this is going to do is walk up the DOM to find the ancestor with the class of vacation, and then append onto that the price node. It's also worth mentioning that closest is going to find 0 or 1 node when it searches for ancestors with the proper class, whereas parents is going to search for all of the ancestors with the proper class. So let's go ahead and put this line of code back up into our event handler. And now it's going to add the paragraph at the bottom of the vacation class. Let's take a look. So now when we click each button, each of them will show us the price properly. And now it's time for you to get into the challenges. And I'll see you in the last section of level 3.